Hi everyone, and welcome to Trades of the Week with myself and Keith Sullivan. Now, today we're super excited, just as usual, because there's so many exciting things happening in the market. But more importantly, there's one company that may make or break cryptos, at least in the shorter term. And we're going to tell you all about it today and the actions we're taking. And not only that, there is a company that is actually getting their former CEO back, which is really positive for this company as well. In today's Trades of the Week, you will find out exactly what is happening. And before we dive into it, I do want to mention our IM Insider. Now, the IM Insiders, you need to become one. That's the first thing, because now more than ever, with inflation racing to highest points in a long time, and your money is losing value in the bank every single day, then now it's more important than ever to invest in yourself and learn how to trade and invest profitably, but also securely. And which is exactly the first step for you then is to become an IM Insider. Well, you will get exclusive content. Press the link below, somewhere floating around here, where you will get exclusive content on, for example, Trade of the Week, the Crypto of the Week, the Stock of the Week, a weekly update, so you can be at the forefront of what is happening in the market. So become an IM Insider today, before it's too late. Now, let's dive into it. So if we have a look at the market in general, we're going to start with the Buffalo strategy. It's actually our favorite strategy here, because it doesn't matter if the market goes up or if it goes down, because we can make money either way. So if we start with, we have our stop loss here at 2% for SEDG. And we're actually up currently 3.29%. So congratulations if you're up that much as well. And in accordance to our strategy, we have a stop loss 1% below, and we might raise it just below the candle today as well. We will have a look at that, because when you're up 3%, you might want to look and lock in that profit. Can't speak today. And the second one here is HQY, no trade, just continue down. That's why we have the very important order, what's it called, Keith? The
stop order.
Tested you there, and you passed. And what happens with the stop order is that when we're looking at a trade and we place the order, it needs to go up for us to get triggered in, like we have with SEDG. We placed it and boom, it got momentum and took us in. Second one we're canceling is MDLZ. It is a no trade as well. It's continued up and broke out. So also canceling that. Now, we have 3 new ones for today, because we want to have around 6 in our portfolios. We're adding 2 more new ones for you today. But before we go into those, Keith, what should we be looking at and why? What is happening in the market? Should we all panic?
No. So once again, it was an interesting week of the market so far. One of the biggest announcements come out yesterday morning before trading hours, and this is all around COVID restrictions. We've heard a bit of whispering last week about what's going to happen in regards to restrictions in China around COVID, and they are now looking to put in place some level of restriction again to stop the amount of COVID spread. Okay, the pandemic is still going strong in China. So we saw a bit of a downturn yesterday in the market. And then we did also see with that an increase in our dollar strength. So the money was moving back out of equities, back into dollars, dollar increased in strength. And then we saw the market have a bit of a downturn. So that's number one. Number two, we did see a bit more of a rollover now last month in regards to housing. And we've spoke about this a couple of weeks now, that housing is beginning to slow down in regards to housing permits. That's our first step. How many permits can get granted so people can start building? Then you've got housing starts. So when the building actually started, that's beginning to decrease. And then you've got housing sales, which once again is also beginning to decrease. Now, housing is a lagging indicator, and this could be our sign in regards to the recession and the effect the recession is taking on the housing sector. So we're seeing a bit more of a rollover in housing. The next point is the Federal Reserve speeches. And we had, I believe it was daily yesterday from San Francisco president. He was speaking about the next steps in regards to what the Fed are looking at. And he said discounting or taking away a 75 basis point hike for December is premature and it's not off the table. So once again, he is still very hawkish in the way that he wants to increase interest rates. And this week, we're going to get the FOMC minutes so we can get a consensus of what everyone believes within the FOMC of what interest rates should be doing over the next few months. So we can kind of get a roadmap now on what they're planning. But as we know, they are still saying that they're going to be hawkish. Now, the last point, and this was a big bit of news that came out, was all about credit card debt. So we were talking about retail sales and how retail sales have still been increasing in the US, going along with inflation. So people were still spending money into the economy, but we had to discuss or look into where is that money coming from. And the announcement in regards to credit card debt actually showed a 15% increase quarter on quarter in regards to retail credit card debt. So people are taking more debt on, and that is the highest in 20 years, which is major. So it kind of boggles my mind that people are taking on credit card debt rather than investing into the market and growing their wealth. But each to their own. We just know that the US economy right now, people are having to borrow money to keep up with inflation. So that could be a catalyst for the Federal Reserve to start bringing down their interest rate hikes and pivot. But once again, we don't know what they are going to do. So that's the economy. We are seeing a relief rally, as we said, historically during midterms and going into December. We are going to see a relief rally. We're going to see the market go up because historically we've seen that happen. We've got the Santa Claus rally, which we can discuss more in December. Institutions have money on the sidelines, which they need to invest by the end of December. So we should carry on seeing a push higher, which is great for our long positions for Buffalo and our VCAs. Now, one big bit of news around a company, and that is Disney. Dennis, did you hear all about Disney over the last few days?
Yes, I did, right? They very exciting. So yeah, would you like to tell us?
Yeah, no. So in regards to Disney, they had brought back their previous CEO. So his name is Bob Iger. Okay, apologies, Bob, if I've said that wrong, but he has been brought back in. So he was the CEO. He retired or stepped down around 3 years ago, or just less than 3 years ago, and now he is retaken the reins. Now, what could that mean? First of all, the old CEO over the last few years, he hasn't done the job. Okay, so now with Bob in the reins or Bob taking the wheel, we can expect some level of sustainability, okay, back into the company, because when he was in control or in charge, we saw the company growing at great rates. Okay, now obviously it's not all down to the CEO. We did have COVID restrictions and stuff all happening during 2020, 2021. So that you can't just say it's all on the CEO, but it could be a catalyst to see Disney actually go up, which could be great for us as an investment, because I believe we are invested into Disney already. So it could be a catalyst to see Disney continue going up. Now, remember, this is not financial advice. We're not telling you go and invest into Disney based on this bit of news. We then need to do our own research, check the fundamentals and say, do we still believe this is a strong company which cannot go to zero? So overall, the market, we are seeing a bit more rollover in regards to the economy. We're still hedged in our longs and shorts. We're expecting a relief rally. So therefore, VCAs, which we're going to show you later, should be giving us profits. There's a disclaimer there. It should be. And then we're also seeing Disney with a positive bit of news, which could affect price longer term. Anything else to add there, Dennis?
No, I think you said it all, Keith. You're talking way too much. But that being said, I think for the trading, right, for adding 3 positions this week. So one of them is ESPR. We have a really big red candle. I don't like the red candles, but we have an upward trending support coinciding with a horizontal support, which I do think is very good. And usually that is very strong as well. So all I'm waiting for now is really a green candle. But nevertheless, if you're using this red candle, you still have a good reward risk ratio that we can look at. The two other companies is one of them is GIII, which is GIII Apparel Group. And we have a short order here on this one. Looking nice. We have a red candle. We have a nice clear downward trend. So looking very good at the moment as well. The last one we're looking at is KRP, another long one. We don't know what's going to happen, but we do like this. We have a nice upward trend, no candles closing below, 3 bounces, and a good reward risk ratio as well. So those are the 3 positions we're looking at now. And let's see how those plays out. Now, one thing I do want to mention before we go into cryptos is that now, even though, right, and it sucks because Keith mentioned that, you know, credit card debt is increasing, but at the same time, interest rates going up, food is becoming more expensive, the stock market, the pensions, everything is down. So it becomes a downward spiral. So it's so important you take this in your own hands and use strategies such as the Buffalo, where it's not really correlated with the market, because everything is going down at the same time or up in terms of inflation. So you really have everything against you in that. So you just need to do whatever you can. That's what we're doing. We're doing whatever we can to really invest during this time, because it is shown and history proves that the people that invest during a recession, a bear market, will do really well. Because usually the year after a recession, the market rallies 15, 20, 25% on average. So it's really important to do that now, and don't do like most people that just give up and stop investing during the recession. So that being said, let's jump over to cryptos as well. The first thing I want to mention about cryptos is that the Fear and Greed Index shows us that we are at extremely fearful levels and have been for the last month. So in the words of Warren Buffett, buy when others are fearful and sell when others are greedy. We're definitely in the buying zone. And looking at Bitcoin as well, we can see that if I go to the weekly chart, you will see that on average, and I'm just going to look at a couple of last downturns here. What you will see from 2017 to 2019, we were down 84%. Currently, we're down roughly 77%, 78%. So we're getting into the ballpark of the how much does go down. We might go down a little bit more to take this down to, let's say, 84%, which would bring Bitcoin down to 11,000. So we're very close to that. Before then, maybe the market starts to rally and go up again. So make sure you do your research here, but we are definitely buying. We think this is really good for the long term. Now, in regards to the news in the crypto market, we have, for example, I don't know if you heard about Genesis. It's a really big staking and lending conglomerate, and one of the biggest founders or founding parties is Grayscale. Grayscale is a crypto fund, and they have thousands of BTC and Ethereum, etc. So if they, and Genesis now said, look, guys, we need capital. We're going to do whatever we can to save ourselves. But if we don't get capital or funding, we're actually going to go bankrupt. So that might be another trigger now after FTX. It might bring the market down. We're doing research on it to see what we can do. But I think the message here is to make sure we keep our cryptos in the wallet. And the more pain we get in the market, the more it goes down. And the closer we get into a reversal, because believe me when I say we are 100% sure, at least that's what our research tells us, that a new bull market will come, and we are going to be ready when it does. So if it does fall more, we're using our CCA strategy to get in again. And speaking about getting in again, we are down at the minus 70%. So if this goes down to the minus 80, around 13,000, we have an order waiting to average us in to Bitcoin and the price. And like I always say, there will be a time to put seeds in the ground. There will be a time to reap the rewards and eat that salad. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So that's really Genesis. But what's really interesting here is that we have 3 exchanges, because we talked about FTX and they going under, but we have 3 exchanges that are sticking out compared to others. Number one, Uniswap, that is a decentralized exchange. Now with the FTX, more and more people are using decentralized exchanges. And looking at Uniswap, I think we have that here somewhere, Uniswap. It's down from the high 44%. So we enter the first one at minus 33. The next entry will be at minus 50%. So a bit further down. I'm going to go back to look at the daily chart here. So if this goes down a bit more, we're going to invest again, because this actually became the second biggest exchange now after Binance, when it was about trading Ethereum. So Binance came in at a large volume of 1.9 billion in trading, Uniswap at 1.1 billion, and Coinbase at 0.6 last week. So that's really interesting. So those would be, well, at least Coinbase and Binance would be the 2 big exchanges that I would be looking at. And if you're using any exchange. Now, Binance for the first time surpassed Coinbase in terms of Bitcoin reserves on the exchange as well. So we think that Binance has the biggest chance of surviving the bear market. And I think the others will as well, like Bittrex, Qcoin, Coinbase, of course. But just to be safe, we are definitely using Binance as our number one choice because they're the biggest ones and seems to have the most amount of assets as well. And the last thing I want to mention here is Solana in danger? So FTX and Alameda Research, they had a lot of holdings in Solana. They were actually a really big one. And they really have suffered, right? Solana has really suffered, but we think, as we said about FTX a couple of weeks ago, we think that the fundamentals of Solana are still really good. So we are definitely still following the strategies on Solana. So the fundamentals has not changed. A big holder had to sell, but the fundamentals has not changed. So we are definitely following the strategy here. But that being said, what this shows us, what FTX shows us, what Solana shows us, the crypto market is fairly new. We're only investing 20 to 30% of our net worth. But more so, this is the importance of diversifying. We never know what's going to happen in the market. And we never know which projects are going to succeed. And hey, we're human as well. We will make mistakes, which is we could probably have, we made a video like FTX, we think it's undervalued, but actually it was not, right? So what really going to get us going, what really going to make us successful, and what makes us successful during these last, for Marcus, 20 years, and for us being able to teach for 16 years, is that we keep going no matter what, and learn from our mistakes and keep going. So I hope you really enjoyed that. And comment below, guys, what do you think about Solana? Do you think it's at the end of the line, or do you think it's a good investment opportunity? We would love to hear from you. So those are really the news here. And the big one on the table is definitely the Genesis. And just to make this clear, even though we think there might be a recession continuing in 2023, what history proves is that over 60% of the time, even though the market has been going down, we still see an upswing in cryptos and stocks. So there is a correlation, especially when it comes to the US government putting money into the stock market and crypto market. So we'll keep a close eye on that. So is there anything you would like to mention in terms of the cryptos? We're not adding anything new. We're adding to our positions. In DOT, we added another entry, down 90% at the moment. A little bit of piece of news there as well. The CEO stepped down and became the lead developer, which is not necessarily a bad thing. So the fundamentals of DOT is also really strong still. We're researching that at the moment. So Keith, anything you would like to add there?
No, I think you've covered pretty much everything very well there. So in regards to obviously what we might be seeing is an influx of coins like with Solana, and you could see the same with Bitcoin. There might be just a slight influx into the market in regards to supply, which naturally brings the market down in value, but it doesn't actually change the fundamentals, as Dennis said. Okay, supply into the market can bring price down, but it won't change how we are fundamentally seeing that cryptocurrency. So if we still believe the fundamentals are strong, even if the price drops, it is a saving grace for us because we can then start buying even cheaper and bringing that average cost down. So everyone's fearful now. Everyone's looking at prices are down, but they're not looking at the developments in crypto. And there is a lot in the background which is developing cryptocurrency for the future. And this is where we get rid of the fear. We invest into the market. We accumulate at great prices. When the next bull run comes, we then make our money. And as Dennis said, in recessions or bear markets, this is where millionaires are made. Okay, so now is the time. Just follow the strategy and keep your crypto safe. But other than that, Dennis, nothing else to add.
That's perfect, right? And if we go into the VC strategy as a last thing, then if we look at, we just stay in the course here, the market has been ranging as the likes of PayPal, etc. So we're adding to the entries where we can. We're not adding any new VCA today. And then on Walmart, we have put the stop loss at plus 20%. So you see, that's why it's so important to really keep going. And the bad news will bring down the market in the shorter term and really make a lot of these quality companies undervalued. And that's where we come in. So Walmart stop loss at 20%. Caterpillar, we took 30% profit, which is awesome. So Keith, let me hear that move. Are you ready?
Moo.
That is a beautiful move, Keith. That is awesome. So 30% off the table there, which is perfect. And looking at VBA, we're putting, that's Walgreen Boots, we're putting the stop loss at plus 15%. And the EMN, Eastman Chemical Company, we got out at plus 15%. So that's another move.
Moo.
Very good. And last but by no means least, we had advanced micro devices. Our stop loss got triggered at plus 20%. So that's another move. So you see, right? We're taking profits as we go here. That's the whole idea here. But remember, investing is month to year. So we could be in these for quite some time. Last one, we have moved the stop loss on. This was the one from last week, actually, right? The one we entered a week or so ago. We're now plus 10%. We have the stop loss at plus 10%. We're up a little bit more. So I hope that continues to go up. So that is pretty much it for that update, right? And I hope you really enjoyed this as well. So the last thing we need to look at is the results. So looking at the VCA, we're currently plus 65% this week, which is awesome. And the other results are unchanged. So once again, make sure if you want to get these kind of results, make sure you subscribe to the channel, follow us, and also like the video if you can, and comment below. Do you think Solana is undervalued? Do you think you're getting in, or why not if you're not? And also, if you would like to become an insider and really learn how to do this properly, the first step is definitely to join the I Am Insider. The I Am Insider, where you will get the trade of the week, the script of the week, the stock of the week, and a weekly market update as well. So really hope you enjoyed this content. Let's hope the market will recover, which it will at some point. And from myself, from Keith, and the whole of Investment Mastery, we cannot wait to see you next week on Trades of the Week.